A new quick project, hopefully. We always say that. It's a 03 convertible Mustang, V6 auto. That's got shifting issues. Pretty nice car. Picked it up for a reasonable price. Hoping we can fix her up and then maybe do some driving with it this summer. Interior is kind of cool. Doesn't look like it's been modified much. A couple rips in the driver's seat. Got quite a few miles on it, so yeah, it's going to be a neat one. Well, found what might be the shifting issues. It would go in first, but it would not pull under a load or anything. Like you roll it up on the trailer and that was it. Put it in drive, it wouldn't even go nowhere. And I think that's because, see, that's kind of crushed. It's hard to see on the filter, but if you look at the pan, it took a pretty good beating. And it was actually pinching off the pickup. And so what we did is got an AutoZone Dorman new pan. Got the drain plug in a different spot. And put a new filter in, filled it up. It runs and drives, it goes down the road, but it's got another problem. It wants to show the speedometer says it's going about 4 times as fast as it's supposed to. So we're going to try with the vehicle speed sensor. It's not throwing a code, but it looks like you're going 120 miles an hour and you put it in drive and the thing goes high, low, high, low, high, low, because it's trying to figure out the load versus speed. So the speed sensor is, well, you can see the connector right there wiggling around. It's right up there. Pretty easy to get to. It doesn't look like it, but it is. Looks like this. Got one from AutoZone. We'll see if it fixes it. By the way, if you take a pan off, this is a Ford 03, so they use these to plug the dipstick hole, and then when they put the dipstick in, it just pushes out. So if this is in your pan, probably never been taken off. So that's just a throwaway part. It's a shipping component for keeping them clean from the assembly. Yeah, so we'll put this vehicle speed sensor in, see what's going on, and then I'll take you for a ride if it's good. Well, the vehicle speed sensor in the transmission did not fix the problem. I don't have any check engine lights or any codes, so what I'm going to do is take it down to the dealership and have them run a diagnostics on it. Some people online think that this is a computer issue, and sometimes that's what the problem is. If that's the case, it'll have to be diagnosed by the dealership, and then the computer getting swapped out, the key has to match, security system, it's a whole thing. So we gave it a cleaning up, because anytime you take a car in someplace like that, they judge you by how clean or dirty your car is, and that's how they treat it. So we got her all wiped down, windows washed outside, vacuumed out, wiped everything down on the inside, and got the seats and stuff as best as we could. They're white. I don't know, they might be parchment. I looked at some replacement covers for this and they keep calling them parchment. So I don't know. So we're gonna load it up on the trailer in the morning. Got an 8:30 appointment. Drop it off down there and see what they say. The roof does leak. There's a small crack in it right over here underneath this. I can make this attach again, but because it's supposed to be attached to the window, but right down in here there's a crack that's letting water in. You know, that's about, I don't know, a quart when I wash the car. No pressure up there or anything, but I washed the roof and everything, so it leaks enough where it doesn't need to be stored outside, especially up here in Washington. But it's still a very pretty car. I'm not going to replace the roof or the top before I sell it, but I might patch it as best I can. Anyway, that's what we're looking at. It's still a pretty car. Clean this up a little bit, and I don't know, I might carbon fiber wrap that. I think it'd look cool, and that would clean up the whole look of the car. Anyway, all right, I'll let you know what happened to the dealership. All right, 03 Mustang, V6 automatic. We were troubleshooting a problem with the speedometer reading about 4 times what it's supposed to. Wasn't getting any check engine lights, and research told me a vehicle speed sensor. Vehicle speed sensors on the transmission. I looked at the price, and they were, for a vehicle speed sensor on this car, it was like 30 bucks. I had a $20 credit at AutoZone, so I went down and bought one and replaced it. I couldn't find anything else. Replaced it, made no difference. Alright, so then I had to resort to taking it to the dealership for a diagnostics, because these things have a lot of big computers and I don't have a fancy computer. They said, hey, your ABS module's not communicating, so you have to fix that before we can diagnose the speed problem. And by the way, the speed signal does go through the ABS, so it could be the problem. Well, they wanted like $1,900 to do that, so my thought was, I'm going to plug this guy in. I bought this from LKQ. It's a replacement ABS module. It's got the module and the pump and everything. And right down here is where your ABS is. The plug just, I can show you, just plugs in. It's pretty straightforward. You just pull on this, it releases. It usually plugs in. Let's see if I can get down there. So it usually plugs in right here where my hand is. And I just routed the wire up here and plugged it into this module. Problem is, those modules are specific to the car, so it has a VIN build and a VIN in it and a build in it specific for this car. But when I researched deeper, I found out this program called FORSCAN, F-O-R-S-C-A-N, and so it allows me to connect through to the OBD2 port, and it's kind of like VAGCOM for the Fords, and basically it lets me communicate with at dealership level diagnostics, basically, so I can see all the modules, I can manipulate all the modules, I can change all the modules. So we're going to give that a try. We're going to plug in, see if it sees this new ABS module. If it does, then I'll actually replace it. If it doesn't, then it's upstream. It's probably, I don't know, I'll have to ask or do some more research or ask the dealership again, is it what the next step is in the troubleshooting. Like if it's the ECU, which one person online said that they've ran into this problem before on multiple cars of this year, make and model, and it was the ECU. So, which is no problem, because with this I can back up my ECU, change it out, and then upload that information into the new ECU, and it should work according to FORSCAN. Anyway, that's where we're at. We're going to go through with this and see what happens. Alright, so I'm just going to do this old school because I haven't figured it out yet, but I plugged into the car, and it showed all of my modules except for no, you see right in here, there's no, and that's terrible. There you go. There we go. There's no ABS module. And I disconnected. Then I plugged in the other ABS module. You see down here, it's finding the ABS module now, but it's got alarms. And the reason why on the ABS it's got alarms is because it doesn't have the right programming in it. So the next thing that tells me that module is bad, and I will replace it now properly and bleed it and everything, which there's a process for bleeding the ABS in the system. It actually runs the pump, so it cleans all of these stuff out too. Anyway, we're gonna do that. That's the next step. All right, old module out, new module in. This bracket has a little rubber doodle there, and here. Just takes these two bolts to get them out. And then to get the whole bracket component out, there's a bolt here, and of course all the lines, and then there's two, I'm trying not to get one there, and there, nuts. That's it, just three that holds the bracket in. The bracket holds the pump, and then of course there's 6 lines that comes off. and then it just comes right out. I'm letting it drain right now. I still have to replace this shifter cable. You can see it, that's leaking down there, so I'm trying to keep from getting everything messy, but shifter cable, you know, it's broken. So it doesn't want to properly line up. So I got a new shifter cable, or used shifter cable. We're going to swap that guy on there. And yeah. Put it on there and see if we can work it out. All right, those things come out pretty easy, just poke them from the back. You can kind of see it right here. Push that out and this whole thing slides out. I wet it down with WD-40, tried to get it in the cable because I used cleaning fluid to clean it. There's a screw here, and a screw here. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing, this guy right here, it's got a notch. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a notch right behind between the nut and the flange, and that locks into the bracket here, so you can tighten this bolt. You don't have to grab it back here, as I figured out. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I put it in park, pushed it all the way forward, tighten it down. So there's the old guy. Anyway, I think that ABS module is finished draining. I'm gonna go ahead and put the new one in and button it up. Well, all that didn't fix it, so next step is to move to the instrument cluster and then maybe the ECU. We'll see on the next one.